people reach out to me, and that's just like, it just happened. Like they just reached out and they were like, hey, we want to play your song on the radio. Can you send us a copy, blah, blah, blah. And that's how that happened. And I've literally kept those same connections. So every time I drop a new one, I'm like, hey, I got more music for you.
Hey, it's Kellen, and I am in the dark today, in the shade, just chilling out. But I have a Palm Beach County artist. And you guys know my first start in this business was music, was entertainment. And, you know, things have been able to blossom. So when I see great talent and I'm like, wow, okay, I see Palm Beach representing, I have to highlight it, and she definitely has something. So she was so kind. She's actually a neighbor. She's just like right down the street, you know, that we could have did this in person, but maybe for round two. But Tara Casey, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Okay, well, I'm excited to have you here. And, you know, I want to give people kind of a vibe of your music, because this music, I'm like, this is a mix between Tony Braxton and I can't find the other, because, you know, it's a lot of it is heartbreak. So maybe I'm thinking, what's the one who always plays the guitar, tall white chick, whatnot.
What?
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. Sometimes. I get that sometimes. It's funny because I don't sing country music, but I do love every single genre, and I grew up listening to like everything. So I think that's why I get all different kinds of celebrities when people are trying to, like, you know, describe my music. They give me Taylor Swift, I get Janae Eiko all the time. Who else do I get? Sade, because I have like that really like subtle voice, like soft voice. Yeah. Oh, and Ariana Grande. People say that my music is like kind of like, you know, that hippie style. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I love all.
Yeah, and so the question is, why heartbreak? What in your life? You know, you look like a young lady, and I know black don't crack. So, you know, why heartbreak? What is it about you that you can sing about heartbreak so much?
Well, I'm only 22, but I've had 3 serious relationships. And I don't know, I've always found like heartbreak to be the easiest thing to write about. It's the best way for me to like express myself is through music. So I'm the kind of person though, like I'm the kind of girl, like you step on my toe, I've already written 3 songs about it. So.
Okay, so I mean, it's just so it's a natural thing, and it's a way for you to vent then.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. And I feel like mainly I feel like other people can relate. I feel like me expressing myself is the best way for me to reach other people, because I feel like heartbreak is like a universal language. Like we've all been there. And it doesn't just have to be like, you know, romantic. It could be like a friendship, losing a friend, losing a loved one, you know, all of that. It's just loss and pain and getting over it and building yourself back up. I think that it's just, I don't know, it's an art.
Okay, are you single right now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something that maybe no one else may tell you, because they're like, wait, we don't want to give her the game like that. But how difficult is it going to be for the next guy to come up in a relationship with you and know if he doesn't put the seat down, or if there's something he does, you're going to have a song about him. Yeah. Like, do guys ever worry about that? Like, hey, don't make a song about me. Nah.
Definitely. It's one of like the first things that happens is, because like, I mean, my music's everywhere on like my Instagram, and like I'm an artist, so everyone always knows about it or finds out about it. And that is like definitely one of the first things they mention. They always crack a joke like, oh gosh, don't put me in a song. I'm like, well, don't put yourself in a song.
Well, I mean, and I'm sure, like, you know, most people in relationships and
Yeah.
sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a negative thing. They
Yeah.
find the same type of characteristics in another person. So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm sometimes you're dating the same person over and over again, and you're like, how does this happen to me? But you're attracted to what you're attracted to, right?
That's true. And I think I'm big on like self-development and spirituality. And I honestly feel like if you're like attracting the same kind of person over and over, it's probably because you haven't, there's like this little thing within you that you haven't really overcome yet. You just got to take that leap. You got to get over like that one thing. Because I've actually dated guys who told me that they like would end things with a girl because she had this, and then they would get with somebody else and it would be kind of like the same thing. And I just feel like, I don't know, you kind of have to, like, to each its own, like everyone's on their own journey. I feel like that plays a huge role in like the people that you end up with.
No, definitely, definitely. But what we're finding is, folks are jumping into things, and maybe it's not a new thing. Nothing new is under the sun.
Yeah.
My family comes from the South, and, I've gotten the warnings being from California. Before you go down south, hey, make sure you get their last name, because, grandfather was a Rolling Stone. So, nothing is new. But sometimes people keep making that same mistake. Like you said, they haven't got over,
Yeah.
or they're used to a certain type of, sometimes abuse even, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So your music, what stage are you in? I mean, it's COVID time right now, but are you able to do shows online? Have you touring before that? What stage were you in your journey?
Okay, so I didn't really start performing until like not this summer that just passed, but the summer before that. And I was like on a roll, but then COVID hit. And since then, I haven't performed since COVID, I don't think. But I like have literally just been, setting things up to get back on stage because, you can't hide out forever. But that's one of the things I'm really, really looking forward to because I love performing, but I still, I always get butterflies, always get nervous. So I'm working on, getting more comfortable on stage, getting more comfortable with different kinds of crowds. Cause like I sing like, in different areas, there are different kinds of people, different vibes. So by learning how to like connect with every kind of audience is really one of the things that I want to learn to do.
Okay, and you're doing it. I mean, your videos, I like them. I watched them, and I watched them all the way through, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling it. Especially that last one. And just warning, folks, if you go to that last video, don't have your kids around. Listen to it by yourself, because I mean, she goes there. I mean, it's full blown expressing herself. Now you're an independent artist, and one thing that I'm shocked about, that there's not like a Palm Beach County, breakout artist that has been able to put other people on. I mean, Miami's the closest thing that we can think of. So, are you independent by design? Are you looking for a deal?
See, I was actually independent by choice since I've started. Now I would say within the past, like the last 3 months, I've been looking for a label, and I've been in contact with some people, like great labels, really big labels, but I'm just trying to make sure that I don't, jump into anything. And I'm really just I don't want to do anything out of like desperation. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that it's the right fit and that I'm keeping my options open so that I can really make the right choice. But yeah, that's my main thing right now is I'm looking to get signed. So yeah, that's my next step.
Okay. I'm from the Dame Dash school of things. If you're going to use the label to jumpstart your career, and hey, I got a 2-album deal. Okay. Mm-hmm. But what are you looking for from a label?
Really? The push. I want to be able to reach like a vast audience. That's hard to do on your own. Obviously I have an Instagram that helps with publicity. I'm also like a model, so working with other photographers is also great. You get posted on different pages and stuff. But yeah, mainly the push, and then also help with image. So obviously I have my own unique style. but I definitely want help with, molding like a character.
Okay,
Like
and it's
just a signature look to like everything.
okay, and it's you have such a girly girl style. I dig it in the times of where everyone's just kind of busting it wide open and
Right.
doing all type of surgery. So eventually, it's like the Twilight Zone. Everyone's gonna look the same, and then no one is gonna stand out.
Yeah.
And so I can see it and I feel it. And so that's what you want the label for. How much research and this is for the audience to really learn. What
Yeah.
have you done to like educate yourself on what a label can do for you and the pros and the cons of having a label?
The best thing that I do, the number one thing that I do, which kind of like goes without saying, is I pay very close attention to all of their artists, not just the ones who are big, but the ones who are small, and see what they've actually done for them, because it's not just about, putting an artist on a contract for 2 years so that you can, keep them on lock. It's, have you actually helped them? What have you done? I like to see progression. And don't be afraid to reach out to artists who are with certain labels. I know it's kind of like intimidating, but at the end of the day, they got reached out to just like you got reached out to. So essentially you're the same two people. Just ask them, like, how do you like this label so far? Like, how, any tips, how they helped you. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any help as far as maybe your father was a musician, uncle, cousin, and you kind of have been able to see how they've navigated through the system?
No. The short answer is no. I am Young MC's niece, though. Young MC, Bust a Move, that guy.
Yeah.
Um, Also, my cousin was just on The Voice. Like, this was actually like a couple years ago, I think now. So I have like, friends, family members who like here and there, like dabble in the industry, but I don't have any help really. It's just me. I kind of just figured it out on my own. But a lot of my friends kind of got to where they wanted to be way before I did. So that was awesome. I have friends who were like really, really experienced, really talented, way ahead of me in the industry. So I'm always just, learning from them. It's just insane how talented they are. Um, yeah, I'm just blessed to, have the right people in my circle.
Okay. What do you think? How has local radio in Southern Florida
Yeah.
treated yourself and independent artists? Is it something where you can even submit music to get on to a program director, or are they just so tied into the top 40 hits, depending on that station's format?
I think it's relatively, I don't want to say easy because there are so many artists out here. But it's anyone's game. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible. It's just not, it might not be, one, two, three, but it's possible. I have had more success with other local radios like Texas, Detroit, Boston. So yeah, because the competition is not as um, intense out there. So Florida's obviously, there are a lot of artists out here, so everyone's competing for that radio play.
Okay, so you've been able to get on local radio, which
Yeah.
is great because so many artists, complain like local radio won't play me. I'm not in the the circle, whatnot. What do you think that you've done? Have you targeted like the college radio stations for because they always are looking for new music, to break? What have you done differently?
Um, Through connections, some of my friends who were played by certain radios, I just asked them, hey, like, can you give me the name of this person? And boom, just, reached out to them. Also, when I first started, when I dropped my first single, That's My Baby, I had people reach out to me, and that's just like, it just happened. Like they just reached out and they were like, hey, we want to play your song on the radio. Can you send us a copy, blah, blah, blah. And that's how that happened. And I've literally kept those same connections. So every time I drop a new one, I'm like, hey, I got more music for you.
And how often do you drop music?
Okay, so up until this year, I was dropping music like pretty much one single a year, which is not good, not good enough. But this year I actually dropped 2 albums because I was like, you know what, I need more volume. So I'm really gonna put my focus and attention into this. And yeah, I was able to come up with 2 albums thanks to, you know, the people that I work with. They're so awesome. They helped me put the whole thing together. And it's just a lot of songs for one short period of time. I dropped one in March, Hers Truly, and then Hers Truly 2 I just dropped in August.
Cool. Now, you said you also model. So is the modeling paying for the music, or are you at a point where the music is paying for the music, where, you know, whatever I make in the music, I can then go put in for my studio time? Or do you have to also have, you know, a job or, you know, some other form of way to pay for studio time and videos?
So I haven't really been modeling that much these past few months. When I was, it would have been, you know, more than enough to cover like production and then music visuals and stuff like that. I get off really lucky because I work with people who believe in like me. So I don't always have to pay for everything. I have people who just want to, you know, contribute their time and their talents into like, you know, helping me with things. So that's also like a blessing. So yeah, it just works out.
So you found what every artist, you know, I'm a consultant and a publicist, and starting, you know, in the entertainment industry, artists, big, small, whatever. Hey, work with us. When we blow up, you blow up type mentality, which has never worked, because when you blow up, you forget about, you know, everybody is what we would tell the artist. But you found a team, and that's a beautiful thing, because that says something about you, you know, that you're not just you're just not a customer. These people have real love for you. And, you know, that's something to, you know, always remember. And again, when you do blow up, you can't take everybody with you. But the fact that you can do something for some people, and it doesn't even have to be, you know, publicized, because I think a lot of times people, when you do blow up, they have their hands in your pocket, like, hey. So how do you?
Awesome.
How do you, you know, deal with that, and like maybe kind of telling your team in your progression what you're going to do for them in the future, or, you know, right now, hey, I'll cook you a meal right now for this studio time. I'll wash your car. You know, what do you do to prepare them for that?
Well, see, the thing is, I'm already like, I take a very, very good, I give a lot of attention to the people who, you know, support me. Like I take that very seriously. So even just with the people that I've been working with recently, like, you know, my last 2 albums, like every time an artist would ask me, hey, you know, where do you work? I'm like, I got the people for you. Like I got the guy. And, you know, so I, you know, put them back on. It's only right. But I've always known that, you know, once I get able, I would always put my friends on. Like it's only right. And I mean, there's always little things you can do. Like there's so many little things you can do. Like it could be as small as, you know, upgrading their equipment. If they don't have the latest mic, they don't have the latest whatever, send it to them. Like that's just, I don't know, it's only right.
No, definitely. So many, you know, tweeting people out, giving them, you know, when you have to build out your team and saying, look, the record label won't let me use your studio right now, but what I can do is bring you into their studio, and, you know, I got to use their producers, but I can put you in this circle because that's so important. And we're seeing that with apps like Clubhouse. I don't know if you're on Clubhouse or not.
I've never heard of it.
Okay, I'll send you a link on it and you can see, but it's one of these things, these new apps, it's invite only. You have a lot of celebrities, but the real jewel in Clubhouse is you have a lot of radio people, a lot of TV people. And, you know, when you become part of Clubhouse, you only get one invite.
Oh,
And so I've seen Facebook groups work like
yeah,
that I'm a part of, where they don't let everybody in. They're private groups and they only want, you know, 20,000 of the best publicists, the
yeah,
best consultants in the game,
yeah,
because, you know, there's a certain level where we're playing at.
yeah.
But you'll be in there soon enough, because folks are like, hold on. We hear the music, we need her. And it's just kind of magic how circles work. And it's, you know, good people refer good people.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Now, how is Palm Beach County and the rest of South Florida, you know, how do they treat the artists? Are there grants for artists? Are there shows that artists can easily get on and perform? How does that work?
There are definitely shows. Um, I know a lot of groups who put on shows. I have a friend who puts on, you know, shows in Miami. They're like, you don't always even have to pay for the slot. There are a lot of free shows. I used to perform at a local restaurant on, is it City Place? I think it's in City Place, or like downtown West Palm. They had, you know, a stage. It's like an open mic kind of vibe, but there are definitely like there are local shows that go on all the time.
Okay, and that, you know, artists, especially you know, black and brown artists can get on. And I'm gonna emphasize black with the rap, because I know at like the flea market, I
Yeah.
see, you know, the Latinos and Afro Latinos, they can get on stage anytime they want, as long as you speak Spanish. But for those who don't speak Spanish, you know, even if you're an Afro Latino and you don't speak Spanish, where can you go where people will say, hey, you're welcome? I'm glad to hear that the community is supporting the arts. And are there, you know, big you know, clubs out here? I mean, I've been here 4 months during
Mhm.
COVID. I have no idea. I'm not going to nothing big. I'm in the house. So are there, you know, a big club that everyone's like, we got to get on and, you know, perform there, and we've made it?
See, I don't even know that much about clubs because I'm such a homebody. But there is one. Let me think if I can remember the name of it. I want to say it's called The Loft. But I know that artists can perform there. But I think that if you don't have a certain level of, you know, clout, then you'll have to probably pay. But I mean, paying to perform alongside another celebrity, it's probably worth it.
Yeah, there's always, you know, a reason to be able to pay somebody, and it's, you know, it's not a bad thing. You know, if you're not willing to pay, you're probably not ready for this game, because
Yeah,
you
investing in yourself.
yeah, and if you won't invest in yourself and you always want someone to invest in you, then you're not ready for this entertainment game. It's a fun game, but it's also a very dirty game. Do you already have your goon squad for when you do have, you know, you're booked out for half a year, a whole year, and you're doing deals? Do you have your goon squad that can go collect your money from shady promoters and all that?
Yeah. Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Yeah.
I've never been in any situations where I had like an issue with that. When I've performed, I have pretty much just helped fill the room, and there was always like a basically like a site that you can like see who attended like through your link or like because of you. And luckily I've worked with like, you know, respectable people who weren't shady.
Okay. Well, give the game for the link. Someone's out there like, what link is that? I've been getting ripped off for 5-7 years, you know, and
Yeah.
well, yeah, you know,
Yeah. So you'll get a link, and you can either post it on your story and say, oh, swipe up, or you can put it in your bio, and then whoever held the event should be able to see like how many people bought through your link, and then ask them. And if you want proof, say, okay, well, can you show me? Can you show me it? Because you don't want anybody to rip you off like, oh, 10 people and it was 13.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the software, the app, or that does that?
Eventbrite.
Okay. You guys have got the game. We want to make sure you don't get ripped off. And I say that because coming up, you'd be surprised how many people don't know what Eventbrite is, or don't know, how to even work an Instagram story. But and they've been just kind of ripped off. And I've done this so long where I've just kind of seen it all and say, I wish I would have known you then, or I wish you would have, hired us, prior to being ripped off, because a lot of times young artists, especially, they hear Universal say, I'll give you a.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. That's how you know this is a real show, you guys, and not a whole bunch of, scripted stuff.
Yeah.
But I've seen people get deals with Universal only to be shelved. And then they're like, they won't let me come out with a new album. Well, you signed the deal without any guidance, without, the right entertainment attorney or the right manager or agent. So I just love to share that game. Now, music is great. Mm-hmm. Is it your only love, though? Do you see yourself, going into acting after music? And tell me about that.
Music is my only love, but I like other things in the industry too. So modeling, I really like, but sometimes when it becomes kind of like overkill if you work yourself too much. Because I love pictures, I love memories, but when it comes to like just constantly taking photos, sometimes you can like sit there and question yourself, like, why am I doing this? Who is this benefiting? I feel like I need like substance where I work. But I've done like commercials, but I've never had a speaking role. But that is something that I've been wanting to do, is get more into acting and be on like an actual series. So
okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Now, if you got a speaking role, would you then, do you have any like writing, maybe goals to say, I don't want to just speak. I want to kind of create my own thing because I have characters or a storyline. Yeah. Is that something that you plan for in the future?
I would definitely want to help co-write my own character if I was ever given the opportunity. I used to write books all the time. Like when I was younger, I would write music, but I would also write like stories.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I will tell you, I don't know if you've ever heard of the NATPE, and you can type into your website, your Google domain, NATPE, and it's, have you heard about that?
Nope.
Okay, check that out, because it happens, right down the street in Miami. Every year. It's going to be virtual this year. So I'm not telling you to do it because I didn't like the last event they did just a few months ago for someone new. But everybody in TV goes to the NATPE, and you will meet all the characters behind the scenes. And it's, everybody you could imagine. It's just a beautiful event. Whenever this stuff, opens back up and we don't have to wear masks, I will probably be the first one in the door again, because it's just a great conference to go to. It will change the game if you're interested in TV. And it's been going on longer than you and I have been alive, and people have made their whole careers off the contacts that they made. Conferences make the difference in this. If you go to music conferences, like, have you ever been to South by Southwest?
No.
Okay, write that one down too. SXSW, just Google it. You want to go there.
I'm going to message you and ask you for all of these things again.
I'll send it to you in the DM as well. Don't worry. But I just, when you write it down, it's something different about your brain, and it will like keep you thinking about it.
Writing everything in my notes. That like I'm so used to typing it instead of writing it now.
Yeah. But you type so much, and so to each his own.
It's more
But
casual now.
yeah, that's how life is, and it's just the progression of technology and how things are going. But South by Southwest is something right now you could say, hey, I want to perform whenever things open up again, because it'll probably be canceled for next year again, which is unfortunate. But that conference is a party, like. Everybody you could imagine is there. They're on the street. They're performing inside the restaurants. They're performing.
So awesome.
It's amazing. So I can see the growth and the time that you've put into your work. And so I know the win is going to come. You're going to win. Now, are you from Palm Beach County?
No, I'm from Connecticut. So I moved to Florida about 5 or 6 years ago now.
Okay. Connecticut. What part?
I used to move all over. So I've lived in Rowayton, Greenwich, and Weston mainly.
Hey, you guys, for those who are like, where does she get her money from? She just told you where she grew up. That's where that she got longevity money. She has Vince McMahon, WWF, WWE money. I know that plays very well. And very well. Growing up, Westport, Connecticut was my spot, my duck off when we wanted to get out of Manhattan.
Okay.
Wow.
I can't imagine anyone as cool as you even living there.
No, I didn't.
I got out.
No, I didn't live there. So I was off the porch at a very young age. So I was like 15, 16. Okay. I would go with, I'm going to call her a family friend, just for, I don't want to put too much of the business out there, but I was allowed to go to New York whenever I wanted. Yeah. And once I saw the differences with my Spaniard family, I would be able to get clue tapes. And so she was a girlfriend. Let me just throw it out there. She was a girlfriend. I'm going out there with my girl. I'm going out there with my girlfriend.
You now.
Yeah. Her father had a place in New York. He also had his main house also in Connecticut. And I would, go do what I got to do. But nobody was broke, and it was just a different type of life. Out there, to be in a limousine and go everywhere, it doesn't mean anything. It's just part of the life. You do that in California, people are going to think you're selling, rocks. It's like, hey, the new drug dealers in town.
That's funny. I had a similar setup growing up because I was born in New York. I was born in the Bronx. And my family, like my mom's side, still lived there. So I would go visit them on the weekends. And I think that's like one of the things I'm really grateful for also, is just being able to not be like limited to one certain, lifestyle, just experiencing like life in general. Because I think like going to college was probably a huge just culture shock for my friends, because it's just like, imagine like staying there the whole time. Like my town was super boring. I love my hometown, but it's just, super boring. Not that many creatives, very, status quo.
Okay. And so you are coming out of your shell, actually, when you came to Florida and getting out of all of that.
I'm completely out of my shell now. So, but when I came, it was, an adjustment.
Okay. And so Florida is home. Why did you say Florida?
Why did I say Florida's home?
Like, why did you relocate? Like, why Florida? Yeah, why did you, come to Florida?
Well, actually, we had already been vacationing here on my dad's side. We would always vacation here. And then when I was in like 7th grade, my mom moved from New York to Florida. And then when I was about 16, when I was turning 16, I came to live with her. And so I've just been here ever since. So she came first.
Okay. Didn't know if there was like maybe an opportunity, and you're like, hey, there was an opportunity that, I found. So I'm glad for
definitely did. I definitely did.
Now, have you looked at your music and taking it overseas?
No, I don't think I've ever thought about that.
Okay. And I asked that because doing music, what we would find is, when I would take my first client was Ken Ivy, aka Pimpin' Ken, and we would sell his DVDs for
Mhm.
$20 here, throughout the South. I go on the
Yeah.
West Coast, I could get maybe a little more. But when I would go to London and go through Brussels, and they'd be like, wait, you guys got this American entertainment? We could sell it for, $40 and up, a
Yeah.
DVD. And we could then do the same thing with the music. And I'd be like, I'm just, hand to hand with it because I'm from Oakland. So hand to hand, we got to talk with our people. And the music has more value sometimes, especially if you're the artist or if you're, part of the project. So I was just wondering, because many artists, once they, blow up, go platinum, and then you don't hear from them again, it's because they are in Europe, they're in Asia, they're in South America, and it's kind of a game. It's a shuffle
Yeah.
system. So yeah, just wondering if you have gotten there yet. I promise you, you take a trip, do a little 5-country tour through Europe with
Okay.
a company like I went through efcollegebreak.com, and you don't have to be in college, right?
Okay. I'm sorry.
So you don't have to be in college
Yeah.
to go on it, but they have some, very reasonable price places. Go through 5 countries, go explore, get your mind and find a new, reason to write a song, but
Mhm.
also sell your music or
Yeah.
sell yourself and say, hey, I'm here. What club is this? I can come back here.
Yeah.
What's the show? This is my fee, and make sure you get paid, and they put a deposit down. But that's the type of American privilege we get when we go overseas.
See, I didn't even
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah. You could try the same thing with the Caribbean. It's not as the same thing that I've had an experience with, but you can kind of
Yeah, I assume it'd be a little different.
yeah, because they come over here so often, and people go back and forth
Yeah.
on a good day, So, but what tell the people where they can find your music, where they can connect with you, how they can connect with you, and what you'll be doing in 2021 and beyond.
Um, you can find Hers Truly and Hers Truly 2 on Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, literally everywhere. If you want to check out any of my music videos, you can find my YouTube channel on YouTube at Tara Casey. It's Casey with a K. If you want to connect with me, give me a follow on Instagram, ask for a follow back. I gotcha. And for the future, I will be releasing a new music video soon. And I'm gonna, I'm on my search for a label, so there's that also.
Okay, a legitimate label, you guys, that can actually, help her, because someone will watch this and say, or listen to it and say, oh, I got a label I made up last week. Legitimate label, that means you got some money to invest into her project. And I'm going to end this with asking my signature question, for the success that you are having now and that you're going to have in the future, what is a community give back that you are doing now or that you plan to do in the future?
Ooh, that's such a good question. That's such a good question. I always felt like, because I get messages from young girls all the time and I'm just extremely flattered by it. I've always just felt like anyone who supports me, anyone who's on my team is literally part of my family. You know what I mean? Like people who support me and listen to my music and are always on it. It amazes me every time. Like I wasn't even expecting the amount of support that I got from my albums, but with that, I've just always wanted to be motivation. I've always wanted to be inspiration. I've always wanted to show people that they can achieve anything that they want. And it's not just music, and it's not just me setting an example. It's me like actually communicating with you and you actually believing in yourself because these people believed in me. So I've always just felt like anybody who's with me, like my followers, fans, supporters, whatever, taking them to the top also. And I just feel like I just want to be able to give back in any way. Like I don't think there's not really like a specific, I don't see myself as, somebody who's gonna like limit themselves to like one thing. I just want to be able to like give back as a whole. So I just feel like pretty much anything, I'll always just be open to giving where I can.
Awesome. Awesome. No, that's a beautiful thing. I thank you for coming on. You guys, we're going to take this conversation offline. You have been blessed by the game. Make sure you check out her music, subscribe, like, and share her music, as well as this episode, wherever you are listening or watching. Be blessed.